Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today on this Tuesday, November 19th with ITB. We have us, we're doing something different for November. November, we typically, it's around the holidays, and we're haven't been doing as many webinars this month. But this month, we have a special guest, Mr. Reverend Dr. L.K. Harris Jr. with our client highlight this month. And this month he is introducing his business and his upcoming film that he's going to be working on. And I'm going to let him introduce himself first. And let him know who he is, let everybody know who he is and what he's working on. And then we're just going to do how we usually do. I'm going to ask questions and do a kind of a Q&A, and we're going to go with that. So I'm going to let Dr. Harris introduce himself and let us know what he's here to talk about today.
All right. Good evening. Pray everyone's doing well. My name is Reverend Dr. L.K. Harris Sr., and I am the writer, producer, and director of an upcoming film, might say as a docudrama about the Richmond 34 Virginia Union University students that staged a sit-in February 22nd, 1960. And it went so well that it's actually spread across the country, and people started having peaceful sit-ins. It didn't make the papers because, of course, they expect us to act a fool every time we go out and stage a a protest, but it doesn't have to always be that way. And these 34 Virginia Union University students, but from the age of 17 through 21, 22, they staged a peaceful sit-in at Tallheimer's department store in 1960, and they got arrested for trespassing. And the question was, how can you be trespassing somewhere where you're spending your money? They can take my money, but they can't allow me to sit down at this counter and eat my food. They can take my money, but I can't go in and use the same bathroom as white people. They can take my money, but I can't try on my clothes in the store. So that's what the movie is all about. We're talking about what these 34 Virginia University students went through as they were trying to desegregate one of the most popular department stores in Virginia, and that's pretty much it.
All right, that's good. So I know for ITB we've been working on this project with you as well in many various capacity. I know I worked on the website for you, and I know you we'll be writing a grant for the film here soon, and Ms. Johnson will be writing a grant for that, and for the film. And just to give us what's the name of the film so people can be on the lookout, because I'm gonna ask more questions, because I don't think a lot of people are well versed on the Richmond 34.
Did not.
So I'm hoping this webinar will kind of educate people on this particular sit-in in Richmond. We have a lot of individuals who are located here, but we also have a lot of individuals who are across the country who are not aware of this. I live here. I've lived here all my life, and I did not know who the Richmond 34 were until you introduced them to me. So what's the name of the film so people can be aware of when it's coming out, and give us a date and a time frame of when people can expect to actually watch the film?
Sure. Well, the name of the film is actually Richmond 34, The Silent Victory. And the backdrop of the silent victory is because they sat there at the counter and no one said a word. Even when people were yelling at them, talking trash to them, just disrespecting them, no one ever said anything. So yes, Richmond 34, The Silent Victory. And so, and let me go ahead and give you a website as well. It's Lmbrayjr34 Foundation.org. Lmbrayjr34 Foundation.org. It's on your screen right now. So Richmond 30. And here's the funny thing about it. I myself went to Virginia Union. I played football at Virginia Union, and I didn't know about the Richmond 34. I used to hear those small things and undertones about Richmond 34, but it was never in the mainstream. So people really didn't talk that much about it. But even now, people still, when I mention it to people, they still don't know who the Richmond 34 is.
Okay, so that's good. So that's what we're gonna get into. So at the end, I'm gonna show the website and how people can support you. I know there's various different ways of how people can support the film and support the production of the film. We'll get to that at the end. So I guess for my first question as a director of the film, what time period are we? What time period? I know we've kind of hinted on the time period already. What time period are we working in? You can go more in depth on the history of Tallheimer's. Tallheimer's is no longer there. That building, that's no longer the Tallheimer's building. So give us some more insight into what that was and the significance of actually having this sit-in, because this particular sit-in was a part of a group of sit-ins as people know. In that time period, there were sit-ins happening across the country. So and this was happening here. So give us some insight into the significance of them being Virginia Union students and it being at the Tallheimer's restaurant.
Okay. Well, what happened? What led to Virginia Union students to do this? It started with the Greensboro 4, Greensboro, North Carolina. They had a sit-in at Miller and Rose department store, and what they did, Miller and Rose just let them sit there, and then they shut down. They didn't get arrested, but they did I had a silent sit-in a couple of days, I believe it was, before. No, I think maybe a couple of weeks before Virginia Union actually did theirs, and my timing might be off on that one. But they did do a silent sit-in at Miller and Rose in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so when Virginia Union heard about that sit-in, they decided to join the fight and say they have to do something to get involved in desegregating Virginia as a whole. Because as you know, Virginia was one of the hubs for racism and the segregation, slavery. Virginia was one of the hubs for that stuff. So they decided to get involved in the fight, and that's what started the Richmond 34 sit-in. Now, as far as why they did Tallheimers, they first set in at, well, not sit in, but they started picketing and protesting at Miller and Rose, and there was another store as well. Forget the name of that store, right up the street from Miller and Rose. But they picketed Miller and Rose, and then they decided they wanted to go larger. Although Miller and Rose were just as big as Tallheimers, Tallheimers was like the cream of the crop, you might say, for downtown during that time. And so they decided to go and picket Tallheimers department store. And so I can give you a whole lot more, but I don't want to tell too much of the movie. But Tallheimers, they how would I do this without telling you too much about the movie? They worked the 34. They went in and they sat there peacefully. They asked to be served, and they weren't served. And some of the people that looked like us did not agree with them, what they were doing. They got upset with them and told them they're going to make them lose their jobs. And so they just left, walked away from them. They told them to go sit somewhere else and things of that nature. So it was kind of a hard time. I'm trying to give you pieces without giving you the whole thing. But it was a peaceful protest. The police came, the dogs came, and they just told them, if you don't move, you're going to be arrested. So they sat there, they didn't move. And then some of them went up to the Richmond Room, which was a very prestigious restaurant upstairs. They went up there and they did the same thing upstairs, and police went up there and brought them down in the same fashion. And so, yeah, that was just the main thing with Tallheimers department store. They had to do it on a particular day when it was really a big crowd there to make an appearance.
So also with the significance of them being Virginia Union students, without spoiling the beans on the actual film, the individuals, like I said, I don't want to spill the beans too much in the background of the students. So these students were in a wider range of working in different capacities as students and clearly leaders in the community. Let's talk about the students a little bit more. Let's talk about who these students were, and let's talk about let's get into who, like I said, who they are, and in any particular students that were leading this in charge, like who was in charge of organizing this and getting it together. I know that's a lot. Like I said, I want to get as much without giving the film, because a lot of this you might not be able to look. You can look up some of this and find some.
Yeah.
Of course.
What you'll find is the names, but you won't find the leaders.
Yeah.
So what? Yeah, but it's
you have an insight because you've talked to the.
In fact, I talked to some yesterday and today. So
exactly.
In fact, I got a letter from one today. So
exactly.
So I'm very in tune with who the leaders are and were. I know. Well, I can give you the name. It's okay. Um, like Frank Pinkston, he was one of the leaders, and Frank has passed on now. Um,
Mhm.
Charles Sherrod was another one of the leaders, and he has passed on, unfortunately, 2 years ago. Um, Leroy Bray was one of the leaders, and
And that
unfortunately,
is Leroy Bray. Who is Leroy Bray? Because we were supposed to have Scott Bray on to
so you
Reverend
so
Scott
you
Bray
so
on
you call
tonight.
us out. You can make me say that. Huh?
Because on
Yes.
the flyer it had both y'all's headshots, and
So,
we could get you tonight. But
so
there's a living generation here
yes, yes,
that
yes,
is fighting on in that fight.
yes, yes. That's my pastor, Vincent Scott Bray,
Our pastor.
which is our pastor, Vincent Scott Bray. He's his father was one of the leaders of the Richmond 34, and so but he passed on in 2022 as well. But so as he told his son, he was passing him the mantle. So the mantle has been passed, and that's where we're working from. Now there is one more leader that she's still around.
Mm.
In fact, she called me yesterday. Her and I had a long conversation yesterday, and uh, we're slowly becoming pretty good friends. In fact, we talked this morning. So getting to know these people, and especially what they're doing now is they're amazing because they're still in the fight. They're
Yeah.
still in the fight. And actually, one of them, the one that sent me a letter, I got it this morning. He was actually he became a freedom writer. He was a freedom writer. You
And
familiar
we
with
know the
freedom writer?
Freedom Riders went through the Deep South, rode through the Deep
Yes,
South, and
yes,
sit-ins throughout Mississippi, Alabama, had
yes.
sit-ins got their
All of
bus
the
caught
country.
on fire.
Yes,
Everything you can think of happened on that bus from going all through the Deep South.
that's right. He was actually a freedom writer, and he
Good.
and I talked this morning. Yeah, we talked this morning, and he sent me some information that I'm not going to share with anyone, but I'll tell you this: no one that I know of the Richmond 34 has what he sent me because of the position he was in when he received it. He told me about it, and then he mailed it to me, and I got it this morning. So I'm very how do I put it, excited about it because that's a piece of history that only I have. And when I called him, actually, did he want me to mail it back to him? He told me, no, it's mine. Keep it. So,
Is it going to
so
be
I
a
told,
prop? Is it going to be a prop? Is it going to be a promise?
oh, that is going to be in fact, I'm going to put that in a frame. So
Good. That's good.
I'm going to Kinko's. I'm going to get it laminated. Then I'm going to put it in a frame. So,
Good. That's good.
yeah. So, yeah, they're a great bunch of people. I've met with a few of them. We've talked on the phone. We've talked in person, and they're a great bunch of people. And I tell you, it's I just love the fact that Pastor Bray asked me to do this film, and it's like now that I'm in it, I can't get out of it. It's like I can't let it go because I've dug so deep into it. It's like I'm entrenched with learning more about them and what they've done, and just learning who they are now and what they're doing now. So, and I think the thing is they're getting to know me and know that I'm genuinely, clear on trying to get this film worldwide. So I'm working hard as I can to do that.
And are all of the living 34, are they still in Richmond? Are they living in Richmond, or have some of them moved to different states or moved out of the country perhaps?
They're in different states. Like one I talked to was the one that sent me the mail. He's in Michigan. Then there's one that's in New York. There's one that's in Maryland. So yeah, they moved in different places. There's a few of them that's still here in Richmond. I've met with in person, but the others I met with over the phone. So yeah, in my last Zoom meeting, I had two of them that actually came on my Zoom meeting. the other night, and the guys, the team got a chance to really sit down and talk to them and learn from them, and we had a really great conversation. So it was really, really, really nice. And they say they'll come back. And one of the leaders that couldn't make it, she says she'll make it to the next one. So yeah, it's really nice.
And it's good to hear that you are working with the actual living members, because I feel like a lot of times when you hear about historical films, they might miss out on the actual realism, and they might because they don't acknowledge people that actually lived during that time. And it's will have, and when you watch movies, things might happen. You might see somebody that look out of place, or
right.
For instance, like for another film, I know Pharrell was working on a film as well, and they were trying to get all the cars. Like, they can't have any modern cars because it's hard to find vintage cars from that time period.
Right.
And I know this is a period. It's similar. It's a semi-period film because you're gonna be doing flashbacks, I assume, and like kind of flashbacks and modern day time.
Correct.
And, so it's gonna be a mix of both. But regardless, you still have to get that period down and set, because you still want it to be real, because they want to watch, and people that actually live there, they want to relate to the film and say, that's exactly what it looked like at that time. This is exactly what it was like in that time period. So for people in that space, for thespians, give us a insight to the team that's working on the film. Who's working? Not, you don't have to be specific, but as specific as you want. You can get as specific as you want to be. Who's on board with the film as your team, and then we'll go into support around the area and the other organizations that are supporting you. But let's start with the team. On the team, who is anybody in that realm we can expect to see acting in it or anything like that?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, and I'm gonna give shout outs to everybody that's actually on board. In fact, where do I start? I'm going to start with my casting director, Crystal Perry. She's been in a lot of films, and she's actually going to be in this film, but she's the casting director for me. And she's just getting back from overseas today, actually. So her and I will be, as of Monday morning, we will be meeting weekly, making sure the cast is correct and everything's done in appropriation to what needs to be done as far as casting. People that I've already selected. I don't want to spill too many beans of who's already been selected, because we're still casting for certain roles, and I don't want to tell people that these roles are already taken. So I don't want to put too much of that out there, but we are still casting for certain roles. But as far as the team members itself, Crystal is one of the team members, but she's also going to be playing one of the roles. I won't say which role, but she's playing one of the roles. As far as team members, you are familiar with Saxmo Gates. James, he's actually doing an original
at Virginia Union as well, correct?
No, he's professor at Virginia State.
Virginia State. Oh, okay.
Yes, he's a professor at Virginia State.
Did he go to Virginia Union with you as well?
No, he went to Virginia State.
He went to Virginia State. Okay, I thought you went to Virginia Union. He went to Virginia State.
He went to Virginia State, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, he went to several different schools. He's multifaceted. So, but yeah, he's going to do an original score. In other words, he's going to do something that's never been heard. So he's just waiting for me to get with him on the information, get him the script. In fact, we had a long conversation today. As you can tell, I've been on the phone all day, so I keep saying I talked to you today. So, but we had a long conversation today. He's waiting to get everything together, and he's going to do an original score. He's one of the team members. I have a casting team, not just Crystal. Crystal has two other people that works with her on the casting team. So when we do a casting call, Crystal, along with the other two members, will sit down and they'll go over who they think will fit better in these certain roles. Then they'll bring it to me. Then we'll talk about it. We'll look at it, and then we'll decide on who should fit in a particular role. So that's my casting team. I have a team that does research. I have two researchers that actually that's working with me. There's parts of the movie that we're doing research on that's parts of that's being done in Charlottesville. Parts from people that's actually that work with the not worked with, but witnessed the Heather Heyer incident when she got killed and all the stuff that happened there. They're doing some research for me, locating people to bring them in on this movie to kind of help us bring some more reality to the now part of the movie instead of 1960.
You're referencing that I think that was the individual who in the accident in Charlottesville.
Yeah, it wasn't no accident. That guy meant to hit them.
Yeah, he ran through the.
Yeah, he ran into
I'm trying to keep it not violent, but not as violent. But he did ride. He drove through the crowd.
He drove through the crowd, and then he tried to get away. So so we're bringing that part of the incident to the movie because that was one of the purposes of the Richmond 34, to trying to stop discrimination, and that was the whole fight in Charlottesville. People discriminating against each other and having the Klan there and the skinheads and tiki torch people, and it was just one of those things.
On UVA campus.
On UVA campus, and so it was a tough time there. So we're working with them, trying to get some of that footage and just making sure that the world knows what happened there as well. And that was another part of the fight. The fight didn't just start in 1960; it started long before then. But since we're referencing Richmond 34, we're going to start with Richmond 34 in 1960. Yeah. But this movie is going to go from 1960 to 2004, 2008, 2010, 2016 to 2024. So we're going to reference the whole thing. And from that point on, I had someone to kind of question me about when Martin Luther King came to Virginia Union, which is another part of the movie we're going to talk about. But a lot of people don't understand Martin Luther King actually came to Virginia Union and trained them or talked to them about nonviolent sit-in. Mm-hmm. He actually taught. In fact, I have a letter, or really it was a text from one of the Richmond 34 members that texted me when he came and what he said. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, so this verifies, although someone else had already told me about it, but I have it in writing that this verifies he was there. He talked about the nonviolence, and I have a signed autograph that he gave one of the Richmond 34 members here at my house. They gave me a copy of that autograph. Huh?
I had watched a documentary about that, it was an entire strategy. The whole goal of the nonviolent sit-in, the purpose was to fill a lot of it was to fill the jails. They wanted to be nonviolent. They wanted to get arrested. The goal was to get arrested and fill the jail, because the thought was they can't hold all of us. If it's hundreds of us going, they can't hold all of us. But in some cases, in like Mississippi and near Ole Miss campus, they would ship them off to different jails and do stuff like that so that they could put everybody in jail. But still, that was the goal, to do it peacefully and not violently, because you can't. If it's violent, then you see kind of what happened in 2020, how people make the argument of, well, they burning your cities down, you're burning your cities down, and all this and the third. But for the most part, it was peaceful, and it was peaceful protesting, and that side worked, and that's how then that time you got statues taken down, you got Robert E. Lee statues taken down, you got Confederate flags taken down and stuff like that. So that was definitely a strategy. And it's still an applied strategy today. I think it should be even more applied.
Well, I'm going to give you a little nugget, something that really very, very few people know about. And this was given to me by one of the Richmond 34. Mm-hmm. And at certain points, when they arrested some of these people, they didn't take them to jail. They would take them way out in the country and drop them off. Now, there were no cell phones out there. There were no cell phones. So they had to find their way home at night in the middle of the country.
That's crazy.
They made them walk. Yeah. See, I got that piece from one of the Richmond 34. So that's just a little nugget.
That is something that that is something you would only know talking to somebody that was actually there during that time, because I would not have ever known that. And and civil rights history is definitely I love history, and I love that time period, the 60s, in that time period. But I definitely did not know. Now I don't love it for the, of course it was a struggle period, of course, but just understanding how people could actually come together and strategize and come together as a collective to actually get things moving. Because when you think about a lot of things were born out of the civil rights movement. Like when people talk about feminism and things like that, a lot of those things wouldn't, and like workers' rights and things like that, a lot of that would not have worked if it wasn't for the civil rights movement to show people how to properly organize and get things done politically and culturally. So I think that is definitely a I did not know that. You just gave me a nugget. Now I know.
I know. Christian, I'm gonna tell you, man, I've learned so much over these last almost 2 years since I've really dove into this thing, and meeting the people that I've been meeting over the last couple of weeks, and just having conversations with them. It's just amazing the stuff they went through. And I'll tell you another little nugget. I won't go any further. I'm not going to go too deep, but I actually had a conversation with the owners of Tallheimer's department store. I've had a conversation with one of their family members. And I was invited to their house. And I've been to their house, and we sat down and we talked, and they laid out this like a plethora of information from Tallheimer's, dealing with the Richmond 34, the grandfather, the whole 9 yards. And I have information right here in my house of letters that was sent to them by John F. Kennedy. She gave me copies of those letters.
Yes, John F. Kennedy was very pivotal in that time as well.
Yes, that was I think it was Lyndon Johnson that actually wrote the bill. What was it called? The end segregation. I forget the exact the Declaration to End Segregation. You actually wrote it, but they had a meeting with John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, and all the department store owners from throughout the country, and they talked about how to end segregation. Now I'm gonna stop right there too, because I'm telling too much of the movie. So
yeah, I know you're good. You're good, because like you said, it was happening here, and it was happening across the. It was not just it wasn't affecting just Virginia. This affected pretty much the whole nation,
the whole country.
The whole country, and everybody would see this on TV. Like at that point, now it's not like phones and things were that. You know, we didn't have phones like we got now. You didn't have computers like how we have now, and streams where we could do this. But there were newspapers, there were televisions at that time where things where you could see these things, and actually, and during that time, it was a lot more graphic because they would show on TV, people getting dogs loose on them, getting arrested and things like that. They would actually show that, in the police beating people. They would show that on television, and that kind of sparked a public outcry. That we can't keep seeing this. We cannot. This can't continue.
Yeah, things weren't being censored. They weren't being censored now.
Exactly. That was a part of the strategy, because the more that it happened, and then it happened with and we had allies. We definitely had some allies. So that's the question. That is another question that I'm curious. Is a HBCU. Were there any non-melanated allies that were a part of the 34, or not necessarily leader, but that were a part of the protests or part of the sit-ins at Tallheimer's?
It was one that I know of. Yes, it was one that I know of, and I did get a picture of him. In fact, I have one of him that was sent to me by one of the leaders. But it was one that I know of. It may have been more, but I've only found one so far.
Because they beat them too. They beat them.
They
were everybody that was involved. They would get them beat. And this is just like, that, and that's not. Again, we talk about this like these people are not still alive. Like, we're talking about the 34, and some of the 34 are still living.
Yeah.
So this is a lifetime, their lifetime of them. They had to live through this. So it's not really hard to think when we bring up conversations about race in modern times and in the 21st century, like it doesn't exist. Like we don't, like racism just went away in 2000.
Right. It hasn't gone anywhere. The only thing, only difference between then and now is everything is sensitized. So they you don't see the actual beatings now.
Yeah, you don't.
unless the cell phone catch it.
Exactly. And that's probably if thinking about George Floyd, if that was never recorded,
you would never know about it.
You would have never known about it. That, and I know during that case, that trial, the recording was the main source of evidence. The actual recording, to sit and watch it and see that happening to somebody like that, that was very, very, that was a big piece of evidence in the trial.
Yeah.
So let's get back to the I got more questions about support, and as far as support that you're getting from organizations, local organizations, and Virginia Union specifically. Who's supporting the film? Who's sponsoring it? Who's on board? Who's all on board with you? I know you probably, like, again, don't be as specific as you want to be, but who's on board here?
Okay.
Let me drop some people that our people might be aware of that say, oh, okay, yeah, they back this good, right?
let's start with you all first.
Yeah.
ITB in the beginning. You guys has been, amazing, helping out with the website and things of that nature. So yeah, ITB, one of the sponsors. Next, I would say we go with the Black History Museum. They are actually one of our partners. They came on board first. They were the first ones to actually come on board and give us some assistance, and that's where we had our first casting call. So ITB, Black History Museum. Then we have, let's go with the Flying Squirrels. They do a legacy weekend to the Richmond 34 every year. They have a Richmond 34 legacy weekend where they give out scholarships on behalf of Richmond 34. And they have Miss Elizabeth Wright Johnson, which comes out, and she's the ambassador to the Flying Squirrels. So they're one of our sponsors. So let me see, I've got ITB, Black History Museum, Flying Squirrels, Southern Christian Leadership Conference. They are one of our sponsors. They've actually really come on board with us and helping us out by doing in-kind contributions and things of that nature. And when they have meetings, they introduce me and make sure the name Richmond 34 gets out there. So they're doing a lot of advertising for us, and we're going to get some flyers and some more information to them to send out for us. And we also have the Virginia Performing Arts. Virginia Performing Arts is actually with us as well. They have been providing us with movie, film, cameras and people to work the film for us. In fact, one of the managers came out to the casting call and set up the cameras for us and let us shoot the casting call. And they're going to send someone else to help us shoot the trailer. So they've been very instrumental in helping us get the trailer shot. And once we get the film going, they're going to send people out when they can to help us film the whole movie. So we have right now. Oh, and I forgot one. Let me get back. Miss Elizabeth Tallheimer Smart. She's another one of our sponsors, and she's really helping us a lot with more or less advising me on how to what things that happen within the realm of Tallheimers and how to navigate setting things up as far as the Tallheimers. So that's pretty much it for our sponsors and partners and things of that nature. I think I lost you. Yeah, I lost you, Christian. I can't mute myself. I'm trying to find it, but it won't populate. Oh, there it is. There.
Leonard, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I don't know what just happened. We had a glitch. That's never happened before. That was a whole glitch.
Maybe I was talking too much.
No, it won't show. I was talking and then the screen froze, and then I don't know what happened. Sorry for the everybody watching. Sorry for the technical. We had some people drop off. We had more people watching and dropped off, but it's okay. This is recorded live, so
Okay.
I was recording as well. But I'm sorry about that. That was a technical issue. But hop back in from where from what I could hear last, because you were talking and I stuff froze.
What was the last thing you heard? You remember?
I'm trying to remember what I heard.
I was talking, man.
You were talking about the partners and everybody involved.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You said I think the last one I heard was the Virginia film.
It was Virginia. What's it called? Dominion, Virginia Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, Performing Arts.
Yeah, Performing Arts. They're one of our sponsors. Yeah, they're one of our sponsors, and Elizabeth Tallheimer Smart.
Yeah, the Performance Arts Alliance. Yep. Yeah, and then the recent one I think you had was the a funeral home.
See, I forgot them. Let's see. I got the card right here. Thank goodness. Dabney Funeral Home.
Yep. Gotta get everybody. I'm trying.
We just got them yesterday, so yeah.
Yeah, trying to get everybody, remember everybody, and get everybody in there because we don't want to miss nobody. When everybody gets a shot.
Yeah. So yeah, Dabney Funeral Home. They came on board yesterday, and yeah.
So off of that, my question is, where's Virginia Union?
Can you read my expression?
They need to be a partner. They need to be the partner, the sponsor, everything need to be the whole nine. And I know we got some alumni that'll be watching. So anybody we need to make some calls and get some things moving with that, and they need to be on this. Now, I know we've had conversations about it, but I think they'll come around.
Well, we've talked to each other. We've talked. I talked to a young man a couple of weeks ago. He works with Virginia Union on their filming and things like that. And he says he's on board. and he's going to work with us on getting our next casting call. Well, getting a casting call done at Virginia Union. Haven't heard back from him in a couple of weeks, so we'll wait and see what happens. I'll try to reach out to him again, but I know there's one of the Richmond 34 that's actually reached out to him, along with Ms. Thomas Smart. She's reached out, so they talk to him more than I do. So we'll see what happens if he's going to come on board or not. But you know, I have a lot of people that's working with us. I'm hoping and praying that Virginia Union come on board because, like I said, I am one of the Virginia Union alumni. I went to Virginia Union. I played football at Virginia Union, so I'm hoping that they'll come on board. And because Richmond 34, they're right there. That was their home. So they should really should be supporting it.
Definitely should, and I feel like this should be a class as well. You know, something.
I agree.
This historical. I think it's strange that Taylor Swift and Beyonce have classes.
Right.
I mean, they are generational icons. I get it, but they have classes at Harvard. Like they got classes. You can take a class, an elective class on Taylor Swift and Beyonce.
I got to throw my hands up there. I got to throw my hands up on that one, man.
It's like, okay, well, why is this not something a big part of this is something that's big, something that the university could capitalize on, and you know, but it's all right. Like you said, you've been in contact with them, and it'll come as the film as you progress and as you get everything, start actually filming and getting everything done with it. So that's my next step. So when can we expect to see a trailer, expect to see bits and pieces, and when can we expect to actually see the film?
Well, the trailer, we're going to start shooting the trailer tomorrow. So you pretty much picked the right day. We're going to start shooting the trailer tomorrow. We should finish it tomorrow. I don't see why not, because it's only 3 minutes long. It'll take us about 2 hours, maybe 3, to perfect it. The videographer, photographers, they're coming in tomorrow from out of town, and we're going to shoot it out of Hanover tomorrow. But we're only going to shoot one part of it. We're not going to shoot the first part we're going to shoot. We're not going to shoot that part. So we're going to shoot the second part of it tomorrow. Now we're going to shoot we're going to shoot the first part of it December 1st at Springfield Baptist Church. And that's going to be the lead in to the movie as well. So, so as far as the actual movie, we're looking at probably November of 2025 of actually starting to shoot the actual movie. We may start in October, but I'm going to give it a solid November.
Okay.
Give myself some leeway. If it comes before then, that'll be great. If not, then we will get it done, at least done by November, and preferably it'll take about 6 or 7 months to complete it because it has a lot of moving parts. So
that sounds good. That in my head, I've only, like I said, I've only been an extra in certain movies.
Well, you're gonna be an extra in this one too.
I'll be extra in this one too. And I've been working on sets like that with a lot of moving. It's a lot of moving pieces and a lot going on.
And that's one thing a lot of people don't understand. They see the movie, they might like the movie, they might not, but they got to understand it's a lot of moving parts to any movie. It is so particular, and things have to be almost perfection just to get it messed up. So in order to get it right, you have to have the right crew, the right team, and they have to be dedicated to the theme and dedicated to the writer, producers, and directors of it, because you have to have the mindset that they have and be able to see the picture. When you get the script, to see the picture and put it in your head, I have to become this person, I have to become that person.
Exactly. So on that note, I also know the organization, the Lmbrayjr34 Foundation, outside of the film, that's where I was hoping Pastor Bray will be on to kind of talk about his the endeavors for the organization as well, and because it's the film as well, but it's also educational points and everything
Yes.
that also are going to be happening, and some other things. If you could, and tell us about the organization as a whole, what the role is in the community. Because past the film, this is going to be passive, and this is going to be education. I know a lot of educating on civil rights history and just history in general. And I also heard mentions of possibly doing scholarships for students and things of that nature. So talk about some things that the organization will be doing outside of the film as well.
Well, I can tell you the pieces that I do know. He and I haven't gotten really into real details on how that's going to all work, but I do know the educational function of it. He's going to be educating people not just about the Richmond 34, but about history, Black history in general. Talking about the civil rights movement, talking about educating the students on their rights, because a lot of people didn't realize that the Richmond 34, they had a court case in order to get their rights back, and they didn't get their rights back until 2016. And they had to go to the Supreme Court to get their rights back, to get their rights, that arrest expunged.
I would not want to go to the Supreme Court in this day and age.
Yeah.
I would not want to. I would not want to go to the federal Supreme Court in this day.
Yeah. So he's going to educate people on that, talking about, once you get arrested, don't think because they say your charges is dropped that you don't have a record.
Exactly.
You still have a record. In order to get that record expunged, you have to go to that court and request to get that thing expunged. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed in that because I don't know all the details like he does, but that's part of what he's going to be teaching people. So he's going to become kind of, you might say, an educator on civil rights and on how people should get their rights back, and when you get arrested, what you need to do. So he's going to be walking people through some processes.
Yeah, and I know for a lot of people, we currently do now have our president-elect, Jesus Lord. He's a felon. He is a felon. I know, right?
He is.
He's a felon. So, and from my perspective, I do think for a lot of people who might have charged, possibly if it is a felony charge or something like that, I would assume in the near future that you're going to see a lot of legislation being passed, and a lot of bills being proposed that will support people who have a record or felony records or any type of felony on their record. Because how can you run for president and have felonies, but in Virginia you can't vote and be a felon?
Right.
So it's a lot of some disconnects that's not connecting here. Some stuff that's not adding up that we gotta. But this is the precedent. We live in unprecedented times, but I'm just trying to say something for some people that may be a negative. We're gonna turn it to a positive.
We're gonna try our best anyway.
Exactly. And I think that is a good positive. And I think that like you said, in the organization, I know Pastor Bray did mention that a lot of it is going to be education. That's what he mentioned to me. He wanted to do a lot of education, a lot of seminars, talking to people. And I'm assuming telling people how to actually organize and prepare, because a lot of what you already said, you filming at a church. A lot of, for us and melanated people, that was the place to meet politically, was the church. When you wanted to have a meeting, you met at the church. You wanted to have a political meeting, that's where you met. You wanted to organize, you met there. Martin Luther King would always come and speak at churches and things of that, like and religious temples like that. So it is very important, and that is the church historically has been a pillar for our community. I think we've kind of lost that in
Yeah.
his. We've lost it, but trying to get it back. I don't know, trying to get it back, trying to get it back up, and but I think that it is good that is being in the church is being is you're filming there
Yeah. Yeah.
in a sacred place, and it shows that this is where the roots are here. This is
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
this is where it started. You know, before they came through and started burning churches down. They came, or we were
Yeah.
organizing, they would come and burn the church down, and then now what? Where did you have school at? You had school at church. You had school at church. Like, I know in
Yeah.
my hometown in Bisco, North Carolina, we have a family church with all of our families' names inscribed on bricks that built the church up. And that church was we still have everything there at the church. A lot of our families
Okay.
still go to that church every Sunday, or there every Sunday, and have meetings there. I know, like I said, I've had in Petersburg, I've gone to meetings for councilmen, and it's at the church.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hot, AC don't work. Like, we need the AC to be on. If you were gonna be on talking about new stuff that's going on, or talking about the new casino that's coming
Right.
to town.
Right.
We can't talk about it and be sweating and be talking to the council people and be frustrated and be hot. Some's
Right. That only makes the situation worse. So,
right. That's just gonna make people even more upset. So,
right.
we did have a question.
Sure.
From Miss Johnson. She asked, "Do you think in this current political landscape, this will continue to be a safe space?" So I'm assuming she's asking in regards to politics and how they recently have gotten contentious. Now, I don't want to get too political, even though the film is going to tap on some political points,
Yeah.
of course. What do you think on that answer? Do you think that our current political landscape, politics will continue to be safe, or should people be, worried when they have to organize, or worried in fear of organizing?
We are looking at a climate shift when it comes to politics. We're looking at a whole new thing. And the sad part about it, no one can give a definitive answer in which way this thing is going to go, because the person that's in leadership now, we don't know which way he's going to go. So we can't give a definitive answer. I can't give a definitive answer saying, okay, are Democrats going to still be Democrats? Republicans will still be Republicans? Or are we looking at dictatorship?
Well, we
what
know
are we looking at?
Not Republicans now. I don't know. Some of them are. Some of them are MAGA cults.
Some of them are just followers.
Yeah,
some are just followers. They just don't, what a man said. So what about what did we do? What did we say? I mean, we voted you in. So what did we say? Well, forget what y'all said. This is the man over here now. So are we going into a dictatorship now? Because everyone he's putting in there are cronies. They're like him. So how are we? The climate shift is changing, and I pray we come back to at least the worst part of how can I put this? The best part is the worst part of politics. That's when they were fighting each other. Now they're fighting us because we don't know which way to go. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but I can say I am in the same fog that everyone else is in, and trying to figure out and understand which way we're going to go. Now it's like, do I vote for a Democrat? Do I vote for a Republican? I'd rather just vote independently. That way I know the person that I'm voting for don't like them either. So here's what it is.
I could understand that because there are some Democrats who he has put into, or former Democrats that he have put that have been put into his cabinet, individuals like Tulsi Gabbard and then Joe
Kennedy.
Manchin, and
Yeah, Robert Kennedy.
Robert Kennedy. He was a Democrat at one point.
His whole family was at one point.
Yeah, and I don't even know what he is. I
I
honestly,
don't know what he is either.
I don't know. He talking about he had bugs in his head and his brain. I'm like, is he even a person? Is he an alien? I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
Where did he come from?
Like, where did he come from? Right?
He flew in from somewhere.
Earth? That's like, it's questions like that, and yeah, like Joe Manchin out of
yeah.
Just, and you know, and that is a thing where we really have to, as a party, because you know I'm a Democrat and I'm a strong Democrat.
Yeah,
we got to get some leadership together and get a backbone. I think
that's the whole thing.
We have to have a backbone and stand on business, because a lot of it is just not us standing on business. We ain't been standing on business like we supposed to, and it's a lot of infighting that I don't appreciate. That shouldn't be necessary.
Right. Right.
But you know, as we work in and as we continue to work in these off-year elections and things of that nature, we continue to organize and fight, because I don't know what the other side got. And now we're sitting here with the Supreme Court, the House, and the Senate, and the presidency, all under Republican control, and we just gotta see what they got. We're gonna see what they got. See if who step up to the plate and get it and do it right. So
yeah.
That's all we and pray. That's all we can do, and pray.
Yeah, put God first. That's it.
Exactly. So we're getting down to a minute. So I'm going to share my screen, and I want to share the website here for individuals to go and visit the website. This is the website. It's the Lmbrayjr34 Foundation. Yes, I made the website. Thank y'all. I appreciate it.
Thank
you. You can donate here. There are donations. You can donate to the film. Just send in your donation, and it helps go towards the film. You can use Apple Pay or your card or Google Pay. Any form of donation would help the film. Of course, Leonard, talk about it.
Yes, definitely. You know, no donation is too small. No donation is too small. So anything you feel comfortable with, by all means, please help out. We can use your help to get this thing. We want to take it worldwide. I mean, we have to start right here in Richmond, Virginia. So help us start it right here, get it going here, and we can spread from there. But no donation is too small.
And there's also a GoFundMe for the film as well here, where you can go and donate to the GoFundMe. So there are multiple ways in which you can donate and support the film.
PayPal.
You said what?
Yeah, PayPal.
PayPal, yep. All that is set up. And you can donate to it. And then just go read in some history. Go learn more. Visit their social media accounts.
There you go.
And go read more on the history. This goes more into the team that's working on the film. This is Reverend Vincent Scott Bray. He was supposed to be on tonight, but he was busy tonight. And this is the rest of the team that's working on the film. And I think I got more people to add. It might be more people to add. Later, there's some more people to add.
Yeah, we got a few more that's gonna be coming on. Yes.
Yeah, and then these are some of the living members that are still living, and some of the members that were a part of the Richmond 34, some protesters and some leaders in the community.
Yeah, they actually sit at the counter.
Yep, they actually sat at the counter. So, and that is the Lmbrayjr. I'm gonna put it up on the screen again. Let me stop sharing my screen. I'll bring it up one more time on the banner. And here is the website. You all can visit the website today and go donate, do your donations, and support the film and support the organization. And also, if anybody, I have the email as well, if anybody wanted to contact Reverend Harris and get in contact with him and want to partner or want to help support the film, you can email him at info@Lmbrayjr34 Foundation. Oh, I spelled foundation wrong. Lord, I didn't even notice that. Let me edit that. Let me edit that real quick. And we're going .org. There we go. Here we go. There we go. That's how you spell foundation. Lmbrayjr34 Foundation, or you can email him and contact him if you want to partner, or if you want to have any support or supportive services, or want to donate, or anything in any capacity you want to help out. Just email Reverend Harris at info@Lmbrayjr34 Foundation.org. And also, I'm gonna let you close out, Leonard, and then I'm gonna close out, and we're gonna close out. So, if you got any last things to say before we end it?
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for your time, Christian, and you guys been working diligently with us, and I really appreciate that. And you have definitely been on that website, man. So, thank you. I know whenever I contact you, usually you'll get it done. So, I appreciate your timeliness of what you're doing to help us, and just thank you so much. You've been a godsend to us. So anyone that you look at the email, if you want to make a donation, make a donation. If you just have any questions, just go ahead and reach out to me. If you have any questions, that's fine. Or email. Normally I check my email. Oh, actually I check my email almost every day. Well, not almost every day, almost all day. So if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. But yeah, thank you so very much for your time, and we do appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard. And as always, this live stream was brought to you by In the Beginning Incubator. We are here located at the Truist Building, 919 East Main Street, Suite 1000. You can give us a call or visit our website. Our website is inthebeginningco.com. Or you can give us a call at 804-468-8141. And so thank you all for joining us tonight. And next month, we should, this month, we're not going to have any more live streams. We're going to be away all next week. We'll be out of the office all next week. We hope that everybody enjoys their holidays, enjoys the Thanksgiving holiday, and eat, because I'm definitely getting excited to eat. We are going to be celebrating next week. We got some family members going to be on The View. So if you're watching The View, look and see. You'll see some Johnsons on The View next Tuesday. And then also we'll be at the parade, the Thanksgiving Day parade, to see West Virginia Mountaineers, our Mountaineers marching in the parade. So if you need anything, email us this week. We had a bunch of meetings this week, trying to get everybody situated before the Thanksgiving. So if you have any questions, feel free to call us at 804-468-8141, or visit our website at inthebeginningco.com and reach out to us. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you all enjoyed the live stream. You can rewatch this live stream on our YouTube page, and I'll make sure I send it to you, Leonard, so you can share it out as well. On our YouTube page and on our Facebook page. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties tonight. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.